for Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Please let the record reflect that this meeting was properly notified, and we are absent 2 members tonight, Bill Stoner and Jim Urban. Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first item tonight is the approval of the minutes from our September 8th, 2021 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and are there any questions or discussion?
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron, seconded by Tim to approve the minutes from the September 8th, 2021 meeting. Any other questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're going to jump to Sandra now for our 2022 employee health insurance renewal. Hello, Sandra.
Good afternoon or evening. Good evening, I guess. So, yeah, I am here tonight to talk about the 2022 renewal on our health insurance and our ancillary benefits. And it's going to seem like a short presentation, but just so everybody knows, we did meet in great detail with the Personnel Committee and then also in a working session to go over all of these numbers. Oops. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. History. 2017, we our health insurance with this. Also pool it with a lot of municipals throughout the state. As require both health. Both the city and the utility. In total, since 2000, we look at what our renewal rate was. We've saved, and for instance, 2020, we received a 1%. Last year was 0.0% increase. For 21%, which I think is amazing. So that we continue with. I'm going to go ahead. Normally we go through all 3 of them before we do the motions. We're also recommending that the board in a reduction. Employee child. Currently, other utilities asking the board to summary, we're asking for 3 motions. One is to pay any questions?
All right, Sandra, thanks for that information. It's always good news when we see a decrease, especially that size, so appreciate your hard work. I know it's a lot, and this time of year you're scrambling to get things together for us, so thank you for that. Anybody have any questions for Sandra on any of these items before we entertain the motions? All right, with that, I will entertain a motion. We'll do 3 separate motions here as they're written.
I make a motion to remain on Plan 7 with AIM Medical Trust as presented for 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to remain on Plan 7 with AIM Medical Trust as presented for 2022. Any other questions on that item? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then entertain the second motion there.
Make a motion, Lebanon Utilities pay 85% of the cost of health insurance, and the employees pay the remaining 15% of the cost of health care insurance.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to approve the motion that Lebanon Utilities pays 85% of the cost of the health insurance premiums, and the employees will cover the remaining 15%. Any other questions on that item? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then one final motion here.
I make a motion that the HA contributions made by Lebanon Utilities for the employee remain consistent or the same for 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to allow the HSA contributions made by Lebanon Utilities to remain the same for 2022. Questions or discussion on that item? All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, Sandra, thanks for that portion. It looks like you're going to cover the ancillary benefits as well.
All right, sorry about that. And I did just want to say, on behalf of myself and then from the employees yearly, the feedback that I get is the employees are very grateful for the health insurance program that we have and for the HSA benefit. According to our third-party administrator, we did have one of the best contribution rates on the HSA that he had seen in the state of Indiana. And every year after the board votes, I do get multiple employees who do call me, and I think sometimes they contact the board to let them know the appreciation for that. So thank you.
And from my standpoint as a board member, I hope that our attractive health care plan and ancillary benefits plan help retain good employees and attract new good employees.
All right, thank you. So on the ancillary benefits, we are also with AIM on the ancillary benefits, and that includes our dental, vision, life, short-term disability, and long-term disability. And I have great news on that also, is on our dental, there is no change in our rate for 2022. Vision, no change in our rate for 2022. Our life insurance did go up $2 a month per person, which equates to $1,224 per year, which is amazing. And then our short-term and long-term disability also had no change in rates. So we are asking that the board approve to continue our relationship with AIM for our ancillary benefits in 2022 and accept the rates as proposed in the documentation that was presented.
All right, thanks, Sandra. Questions for Sandra on the ancillary benefits? If not, I'd entertain a motion on this item.
I make a motion to approve our ancillary benefits as presented for vision, dental, life, short, and long-term disability for 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to approve the ancillary benefits as presented for vision, dental, life, short, and long-term disability. Additional questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thanks, Sandra, very much.
Thank you.
All right, next item is an information item. I believe Jeff Greeno is going to address the Mylar balloons and power lines. Is that a song, Jeff, or?
Yes. This is just an information item for the board and the public about the hazards of Mylar balloons, the foil balloons filled with helium, what happens when they release them into the air near our power lines. I got a real short video which will pretty much explain everything.
Notice the lights went out.
These balloons, like I said, are made out of foil, and they're very highly conductive for electricity. So I just ask the public, be mindful about when they release these balloons, where they release them at. Anybody have any questions?
It's a good point. I don't think a lot of people consider lines,
They don't.
maybe trees, but definitely not lines, so makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I want to add on that Jeff and his crew have done a great job responding to power outages. We had a momentary outage, I want to say on Labor Day, when somebody released Mylar balloons. And the power was only out for a few seconds as the station relayed, and they went and fixed the problem. But we had a problem like that right here in town. And you can go online and find many videos like this. There's many public utilities that do public service announcements reminding people of the dangers of releasing these balloons into the environment and hitting power lines. So we just hope people are just mindful of that in the future.
We have several commercial customers that have very delicate systems, and when they see it blink like that, it causes a lot of issues.
Right. Thanks for that information, Jeff.
Thank you.
Next item looks like an action item, and it's return activated sludge pump replacement. And Ryan Oettinger will be addressing the board on this item. Hey, Ryan.
Hello. The first item I have is a request to replace one of the return activated sludge, we call it a RAS pump, for the clarifiers at the wastewater treatment plant. There's 3 pumps in line, and this one has quite a bit of years on it. I believe it's about 10, 15 years on this. We did replace one in 2019. Now the second pump is not working properly, and we'd like to replace that. We did get 3 quotes on this, and the lowest quote was from BBC Pump and Equipment. The nice thing about this is our staff is familiar with this, so we'll do all the installation, hookup, and everything ourselves, so we just have to pay for the price of the pump, which is always a good thing. And like I said, the other pump, or the pump that we're replacing, is about 20 years old, so we have kind of Band-Aided it a couple times, and it's just to the point to where it's just not as efficient as what a new pump would be, so it's time to go ahead and make that move. This is a budgeted item. We do have a capital additions line for wastewater treatment repairs and upgrades, and it would come out of that. It would come out of that fund in our capital improvements. And the RAS pump, it is important because we can return the sludge when it needs to be moved out of the clarifier. This is what we use, and there's different size pumps for different flows, and so having all 3 in line and operational are critical, especially days like today when we've had a little bit of rain in the forecast. We need all the pumps up and operating. So I can take any questions that you guys might have on this. Oh, not to interrupt, I'm sorry. BBC is who does all of our lift station repairs, supplies a lot of equipment for us, so they are a trusted vendor who knows our system, wastewater treatment plant, and the lift stations very well, which it's always good to get the low price whenever we're able to get a low price from a trusted vendor. So we have all the confidence in this pump.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Any other questions for Ryan on this RAS pump? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the quote from BBC Pump and Equipment for a return activated sludge pump in the amount of $15,737.
Second.
Motion made by Aaron,
Let's see,
second.
I want to amend that motion.
Okay.
I actually looked at the quote, and it's $15,737.40. So please add the 40 cents to my motion.
All right, we've got a motion made by Aaron and seconded by Tim to approve the quote quote from BBC Pump and Equipment for return activated sludge pump in the amount of $15,737.40. Any additional questions for Ryan on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Ryan. I think you're going to stay right there and talk about our upcoming fall hydrant flushing. I recently saw on our social media that that's upcoming.
That is correct. It is that time of year again, and it does definitely feel like fall today as opposed to the 90-degree weather we had on Saturday. But we do an annual fall flush. We do flush our hydrants in the spring and the fall, and so we will be changing the type of chlorine that we use in the water supply. We go from a chloramine, which is when you add ammonia to the chlorine, to a free chlorine residual, which in the wintertime, Citizens does this also. In the wintertime, helps you maintain a residual when your flow may not be as high as it is in the summertime. Chloramines work a little bit better as far as residual in the depths of your system, but they don't hang around as long as a free chlorine would. So when the flows change, we go ahead and we make that change at the plants also. So we do notify, there's a couple businesses that are affected by the different chlorine, so we notify them ahead of time and we work with them before we make that change to make sure that they know when it's coming and help them make adjustments if needed. We do start on the north end of town, and I have a kind of a map here, and we will, I think this map may already be on the website, and it will be updated. Obviously, these are tentative. Days like when we have a lot of heavy rain, it does slow progress down quite a bit. So, you know, or if we have an emergency at the plant, or if there's a leak somewhere in the system, then we stop all flushing. So this date could be moved up if everything works out correctly, but we will, as it's updated, or as we change it, we will update the area. But this just gives everyone a kind of an idea. If you do see a hydrant open, and it's, we don't stay by the hydrants, we open a couple at a time normally. So if you do see a hydrant that's open, please avoid that area, but also, you know, we are aware of it if we're in that area now. If you see a hydrant today that has got water flowing out of it, obviously we're not flushing right now, so that would need to be reported. But around that time frame when we're in that area, unmanned hydrant open would be expected. But it does come out at high pressure, enough to peel paint off a car, to dent fenders, to cause major problems with a vehicle or a pedestrian walking by. So if you do see those going across the road, just if you could avoid them, that would be great, or if not, use extreme caution when going through that area.
Don't recommend kids playing in that.
I have seen kids playing in it. I've also seen them kind of get pushed down the road because they get a little bit too close. So like I said, be very careful if you do see. It doesn't take very much water to move a small child on a bicycle, and I've seen that firsthand, and it's pretty scary. The reason we do the flush is for two reasons. One is to ensure water quality. We get to make sure we get all the dead ends taken care of, and we can make sure that when we make the change from chloramines to free chlorine, we do that ahead of time, so then that way it doesn't take days or weeks to get all the way through the system. We can ensure that it's getting into the system right away. And also it's to maintain operating ability of the hydrants. If a hydrant does not operate correctly, we have bags that we put over it and seal it, lock it with those bags on it, so the fire department knows if there's a fire in the area not to use that hydrant, so they're not wasting valuable time hooking up to a hydrant that's not going to work properly, not turn on all the way, not give them the pressure or the volume of water that they need. And then we send an email to the department. Usually we get it fixed same day, sometimes the next day, but we do email the fire department also if a hydrant is out of service, so they know not to use that area. So, you know, that's basically it. There will be, if we are in your area and flushing, you might notice a slight drop of water pressure. You should never be out of water because of that. but you might notice a slight drop in the area, especially as we turn a couple hydrants on at the same time. But it is temporary. It will not last long. And when I say temporary, I would say in some neighborhoods less than 10, 15 minutes, if you notice it at all. It's usually during the hours of about 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We like for the school buses and all the kids to be able to get to school before we flood the streets a little bit, so they don't get soaking wet and play in the water before they go into school. Can't tell them what to do after school, but we usually do it between 9 and 3, so everybody gets going to work and showered and everything before we start disrupting the water pressure. So that's kind of what you can expect, and I can take any questions on that you guys might have.
I have a question about the chlorine change. Will customers notice any taste difference in their water?
They should not. And if they do, please call in and let us know so we can make sure that if it is, adjustments can be made if it's because of the chemical change. But in reality, there should be no disruption or any change to the customer. It's just a change to our technique and to the way we disinfect the water, but there should not be a taste and odor effect with the customer. Actually, it should, in theory, the chemical change shouldn't affect them, but the flushing should help water quality. Like I said, if there are areas that have some water that is a dead end, cul-de-sac area that doesn't get a lot of flow, this will bring fresh water into that area. We do have a monthly flush program that we have for the areas we know have low flow and dead ends, but this ensures that all the areas get flushed. The guys use GIS mapping, and they have iPads in the field so they can mark hydrants that they flush. We can record. We do testing while we're out there, not every hydrant, because that would be very time consuming, because one chlorine test is a minimum of 3 minutes. But we test different areas so we know what our residual is. We can compare it to the year before. We can compare it to last time we flushed, and we keep all that data in our GIS. So it's a great benefit to us, and it takes us a little longer to do it that way, but overall it's more beneficial to the customer.
I have another comment. In a previous life, I was a certified safety professional. When we're flushing these hydrants, we don't have children playing in the water, correct?
We do not know.
Okay,
Now,
so, I mean,
no,
we
but
were making some sort of halfway humorous comments, but
we were,
that sort of,
but there's so much water that does come out that it will pool in the streets, and it goes down the street to the closest drain.
but we don't invite anybody to play in the water.
We are not encouraging, as a matter, no, in our release, we are encouraging people to avoid the area. Do not come toward the area. Please avoid it at any length that you can avoid it. That's what we want. We want to be able to turn it on and turn it off without any disruption to the public whatsoever.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess one thing to add to that is, I'm sure Ryan has a list of what hydrants are hard to flush, because there's some hydrants just where they're located, they're on a corner, they're near a business, where the water goes when you flush it, it always causes a problem. So they have a list of ones that they maybe have an extra guy, they might even direct traffic. So they're very cognizant of that.
We have diverters to where it 45s off of the hydrant, and we can pretty much put it wherever we want. We also have a connection that has a hose with it with a weight on the end, so the hose doesn't bounce around. So if we need to avoid, we can get some pretty tight spots, but obviously, this isn't just for me saying this. From a legal point of view, we would encourage people not to park in front of hydrants or near a hydrant when we're going to be in your area, just because it makes it much easier for us to get the water out in a safe manner and move on down the road.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Anything else on the flushing?
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay, and it looks like you're going to touch on the Abner Longley Water Storage Facility update as well?
Yes, I will. This is just an update for the board and for everyone on our ongoing water storage tank at Abner Longley Park. We are in the process of beginning construction on a 2 million gallon water storage, finished water storage tank with a chlorine booster, pressure booster system attached to that at Abner Longley Park. And we did choose Bowen Engineering. With the scoring committee, we had 4 different contractors to choose from, and we did choose Bowen Engineering. And they came back to us with what is called a GMAX price proposal, which is the guaranteed maximum, which is the top that we would pay. Whatever this number is, would be the most we would pay. A lot of times, in normal situations, we actually hope to pay less, on saving, where we can save here and there. But this is kind of the big balloon, worst case scenario. If everything, we pay the top dollar for everything, and things go wrong and we use all our contingency money and all that stuff, this is kind of where we are. They came back to us originally with a price tag of $6.25 million. But they kind of went back to the drawing board and were able to really dial in on some prices that were more estimates than they were, and they came back with a little bit better numbers for us. And so on September 17th, they did send us a price of $5,991,450. We plan on coming to the board next week with the final number for the guaranteed maximum. This is the number where we are now. This has gone up since we originally budgeted for this item, and based on the numbers that I've seen, the articles that I've read, and the meetings that I've been in, everything is up in the construction world right now and in the contracting world. We are struggling with pricing, we're struggling with lead times. A lot of stuff is up about 30%. Some's not. We know we have some builders in the area that are struggling just to get PVC in at a normal time. We have about a 10-month time on residential water meters right now. If we want to get any put in next summer, we can't wait until the spring to order them because it's going to be winter time before we get them in. That's not an ideal time to put in. So, it just gives you an idea. I know electric transformers some are almost a year out. So we're really, that number really kind of shocked us a little bit, the increase, but the majority of that number is we can use as just the industry the prices have gone up in the industry. And we will be able to, the nice thing about this is go through all the pricing. We'll have updates with Bowen, and it's all open book pricing. So what they're paying for stuff and what we're paying for stuff is all in that, and it's a great process. The BOT is a great process for us. So I just wanted to be able to maybe answer any questions. I do have John Leitner here from Butler, Fairman, Seifert. They're the engineering firm that is working with us and Bowen on this, that he can answer any questions that we might have in this area. And like I said, this is just for information to keep everybody up to date, and we hope to come back with a little bit better number next month. But if not, this will be the number that we'll come back to.
Explain to me what you're coming back with next month.
It'll be the final number, and if I'm incorrect,
Construction
John,
contract.
it'll be, yes, the number in the contract, the construction contract.
Okay.
But we wanted just to give the board an update so we can, just make sure that the board is aware of where we are and not just come.
Bowen selected a contractor?
They are the contractor.
Bowen is the contractor.
Is the contractor?
They'll have subs for, the major, like to put the
Okay.
generator in, they'll have a generator sub come in there. But for a lot of the stuff, they will self-complete most of that work.
So Aaron, part of the bid process or the review process for us is to assure from whomever bids to us that they perform a certain percentage of the work within themselves. They don't just sub it all out.
And John, do you remember what the number was?
Very high.
I thought it was 70.
Yeah, so the requirement for a lot of there's at least 25%. Typically, what we're looking at is probably more like 70 to 80%. And that's great value for you guys because with it being open book pricing, if Bowen does an efficient job or finds some savings, that would be that would be reflected in the open book pricing and return to the job or return to the Lebanon utilities eventually. The other good thing that kind of when I was just sitting there listening to Ryan explain it to put a kind of a thought that came in my head is what you're doing, as Ryan was saying, you're setting a ceiling with this guaranteed maximum price. I mean, the construction industry, the prices that he's talking about, I mean, we're even seeing that at just your local Menards. You know, you had a 2x4 used to be $2 a board. It got up to $10 mid-COVID. It's probably back down to $4 right now. Good thing about this is we're setting, you know, kind of where we're at to the top. If things kind of normalize and we can get pipe again or other building materials next year and Bowen sees that savings, that will be returned. So if we did a hard bid on this, the price was the price. So I think you guys I think this is a great delivery method for what we're trying to do, and especially for this kind of volatile market. It's a good time to set a ceiling because, you know, we were talking with Bowen beforehand, they're talking about equipment, you know, jumping up 10-20% if you wait a month. So we're trying to go as quick as possible to kind of get things locked in and kind of protect from things getting worse, I guess.
All right, anything else, Ryan?
I apologize for being slow to understand. So today we were presented with a Bowen construction cost figure of $5,991,450.
Yes.
And we say that might change in a month?
It might change for the better.
Okay.
And like I said, as we kind of get dialed in but from what I believe, John may be able to answer this, that is the number that they're coming back to us, that they're comfortable with that being the ceiling. But when I say they, I apologize, Bowen is comfortable with that being the ceiling. But having said that, when we go in a month, come back to the board, it could be a little bit less than that. It may not be, but that's a number right now that we're working from.
So we don't, okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not the final number, but that's the number that we're working from. And as soon as we got that, I wanted to give that information to the board.
Okay.
And then we'll have, you know, we hope to have next month the construction contract to present to the board.
Okay, thank you.
I think in essence, we want to bring that construction contract forward as quickly as we can right now based upon market conditions. If we wait another month or two, that guaranteed max is going to change.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Sandra rightfully pointed out as we were sitting there also the price proposal that they've listed it good for 30 days. So we're locked in for at least 30 days. We should, you know, that's plenty of time for us to get a construction contract. We're actively working towards it. And, I know attorneys have been talking back and forth on edits on the full, and things are progressing. But yeah, we don't have an action item tonight, but it's a good step. Them giving us this GMAX proposal, letting us know what range we're at, and making sure everybody's comfortable.
Jeff, you comfortable so far?
Yes, yep. And I would anticipate that we'll have the contract back in front of you within less than 30 days.
That's our goal. That's the plan between BFNS, myself, and Bowen to be back up here in October, which it seems like a far way away, but it's really not that far, to get that and to grab that 30-day window, Tim, like you said, and make sure that this is the price we get, because the trend is not going down right now. It is going up, so I think it's vital to lock that number in.
Good deal. Anything else, guys? Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, next item tonight is the approval of claims, payroll, and transfers. Everyone reviewed those items. Any questions, discussion on those?
Big month.
Not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers dated September 22nd, 2021 in the amount of $2,590,279,000 and 48 cents for claims for claims and payroll, and $7,158,314.25 for transfers.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve the claims, payroll, and transfers dated September 22nd, 2021. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item is any other business. Anybody on the board have anything else before we look for public comment? Okay. Any comment from the public tonight? Ed, any public comment that you've received?
No, sir.
Okay, it looks like our next meeting is scheduled for the 6th of October at 5 p.m. And with that, if there's nothing else tonight, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Aaron and seconded by Tim to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we'll stand adjourned. Thanks, everyone. 6.